we deliver a profit before tax of 51 billion naira. We have shareholders, which, like I said, very shortly, you can become part of the owners of the company in excess of 270,000 people, creating wealth for them consistently over the past few years. Let's go on to the next slide, please. We mentioned we have been around for over 60 years and managing these various portfolios within the group. So asset management, wealth. My colleague, Adetola, the MD of our wealth management, will discuss details about this later. But just to say that we've been around for over 60 years and then become leader in the business that we run. Let's go to the next slide, please. So this is also the recent awards that the United Capital PLC received. Just texting to the fact that we know our business and we do it well, and external parties, both in Nigeria and internationally, recognize that. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So we're going to talk briefly about what is driving the recent developments in the Nigerian, how it's shaping the economy and the financial market. These are key reforms that are being implemented at the moment that is driving the economy towards laying a foundation for a sustainable growth for the Nigerian economy. So we start from the FX and on and to the tax, which I'm sure you are aware of. And just to let you know that all these reforms are opening up the Nigerian economy. And for some of you Nigerians in Canada who also want to come back home here, though the focus of this presentation is financial investment, but there could be some of you who wants to invest in real economy. For instance, look at what is going on in the value addition that the federal government is saying. You cannot just be exporting raw materials. You have to add values to it. A lot of companies in China, a lot of companies in, around the world are coming to Nigeria to take advantage of that value addition policy at the central bank. The federal government is putting in place. There are huge infrastructure, drive developments that are going on in Nigeria, which has spillover impact, multiplier impact in other sectors of the economy, oil and gas, power. So we just now, as we are today, that power sector is such that we have, if you have within your estate, even on your streets, there are opportunities for you to generate electricity, to distribute it by the current power reform policy that we have in the country. So it's driving a whole lot of opportunities. Solid mineral also. Canada is one of the countries that is known for, the solid mineral development. We can bring in those expertise into Nigeria. We have a minister who is driving it. And as a matter of fact, that sector is very important in the such that every state in the country has one solid mineral resource or the other. And as we speak today, the one that is mostly developed is actually the, for cement, which is because they use it for limestone, which is what is used for cement. But we have lithium in Nasarawa. In some other states, we have gold across southwest states and some states in the north, where people are coming in, and some of these things are the best qualities that you can find anywhere around the world. So you can come in to take advantage, or your partner, you form a vehicle with which you can apply for licenses, and those licenses will be given to you. And these are driving investment, are driving growth, are laying foundation for sustainable growth in the economy, and also impacting the financial market. Let's go on to the next slide, please. So again, implementing the policies, a lot of international organizations, S&P, World Bank, IMF, I'm sure you read recently that IMF says that our currency is at the moment undervalued. In other words, that's a good news for you in the diaspora who feel that there may likely be a devaluation. If IMF, who expresses independent view about what is going on in any country that they have interest in, is saying that, it then means that goes a long way to allay your fears of possible devaluation. So you can come in here, your return, you are likely, it means that it's going to be insulated from devaluation. So you have these organizations, this reform rating is being upgraded. Other companies, this should say Russell is classifying Nigeria to a frontier market. Previously, it was unclassified. And this will bring a lot of opportunities in the equities market starting from September. So foreign investors may likely come here to take part of the opportunities that we see in that market. We've also seen pension fund government revising upward the limits to take advantage of the equities market. So those are part of the reform agenda, and the fact that all these international organizations, the World Bank, IMF, and all of these rating agencies are saying we are on the right track, and we don't want you to be left out, because a lot of people are coming in. I'm going to show you data very shortly, and we want you who are Nigerians in diaspora to also look at these things ahead of time and take advantage of it. Please go on to the next slide, please. So here again, as the economy is improving, market is responding to the positive developments. So here, this is the performance of the equities market in 2025. Many among these countries that will track in this place: Japan, United Kingdom, US, China, Europe, and these are big economies. I'm sure you are familiar with one of them. Nigeria recorded 51% last year, and best performing among the countries. There you may say it is Naira performance, but again, if we look at Nigeria last year, that Naira appreciated by over 5% against the US dollar. It then means that in the return adjusted for currency last year, you are looking at real dollar return of about almost 56% in dollar terms last year. That if you had invested in the market, that you are going to earn. And this returns is not just last year. Let's go to the next slide, please. You can see what has happened to the market in the equities market. The NGS all share index is just a barometer to track the performance of the equities market in any economy. From year 2000, you can see consistent growth. And even if this is what your portfolio return, I'm going to show you what portfolio return, just few stocks that we track in the portfolio return is shortly. But even if your portfolio return this in the last 5 years, and given the fact that you have some stable currency from 2024 years, there was devaluation, but now it's a good return. And like I mentioned, this is responding well to the developments that we have in the broader economy and the reform agenda of the federal government. Let's go to the next slide, please. So the next slide shows the performance of, so the performance of the equities market as at the end of May this year. Market had also recorded 61%. There was a slowdown in June. The slowdown in June is also providing a lot of opportunities for new people to re-enter the market, to rebalance your portfolio, to buy stocks at a lower rates. Warren Buffett will say, be greedy when market is, be careful when market is greedy, and then be greedy when market is fearful. So when prices are going down, and once you identify good stocks, then you can enter the market and you'll make a lot of money from there. Let's go to the next slide, please. So the next slide is also talking about what is happening in the fixed income side of the market. You can see here that the fixed income market in Nigeria recorded about 16% as at the end of May this year, higher than what we have in the other region. But look at it, if there is going to be a stability in the value of the currency, it then means that this return is also very good return. I need to also stress that with the tax reform that the federal government implemented this year, if you buy federal government bond, which you use as the 10-year bond, federal government bond and state government bond, here it is exempted from the payment of taxes, which means that your return is actually, in real return, is actually higher than this. So opportunities both in the fixed income segment of the market and then the equities segment of the market. creating a huge opportunity for you in diaspora who wants to have exposure in the Nigerian financial market. Let's go to the next slide, please. So these are just opportunities for you to invest in equities and what what it does for you, and fixed income as well. Let's go to the next slide, please. So just to also mention that in United Capital PLC, we also provide opportunities for you to magnify your return. So when you have opportunities that you want to take advantage of these instruments, you can leverage. We provide support for you through share-backed facility for you to buy more. If you take more loans from us to buy more into your portfolio, to buy more equities, that loans amplifies your return. Look at what we have in this slide, whereby we picked some few stocks last year and the portfolio yielded 317%. Don't forget again that last year the naira also appreciated, meaning that this return, if you convert it to dollar, it's actually higher than this. So opportunities in the equities market. Next slide, please. The next slide shows the return that you on a portfolio of stocks that we brought together that for over a period of, say, from 2nd of January 2020 and then 2020 at the end of 2020, 2026 May. Now that portfolio yield returned 12.93 times with a return of 1,203. Let's go to the details of that. And what we are doing here is that also fit into what you in diaspora can do, because once you buy capital appreciation, once you get dividend, you reinvest the dividend, and we call it the miracle of compounded return in equities market. You reinvest the dividend and then you allow it to grow. That means the following year you get higher dividend because you have more units of those shares. So once you do that, this portfolio yielded 1,293% within a period of 5 years. Let's go to the next slide to show you also what we have there. This is just a graphical representation. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now, sometimes all of you are abroad, you will think about, currency devaluation. What we have done on this slide is to situate the return on this portfolio and then use it against the investment in a dollar investment that yields about 10% and is compounded annually. And of course, you are in your own various countries. In Canada, I'm sure you don't have 10% return on fixed income. But you can see what we have. It means that the portfolio of those stocks that we showed in the previous slide still perform far higher than the dollar investment of 10% compounded annually, despite the devaluation of the currency. So it is not actually very true when people talk about the fact that, currency investment in naira is a destruction of value. No, it is actually a good store of value, because despite the devaluation, the kind of returns that you get here will compensate you, so you have risk adjusted or the devaluation adjusted return that we have. What has happened in the past, the government, like we mentioned earlier, has come in to implement structural policies, which sometimes we can still be having the pains here, but they are laying a strong foundation for a sustainable growth in future. So really, beyond what we read on social media, platforms, these are real numbers to show what has happened, and there are still a lot of opportunities in the next future. Once you stay long enough in the market, you compound your return, you get good return. Let's go to the next slide, please. So these are a lot of things that the institutional quality that is going on in the country, and we are going to share this with you. And some of these things has also led to the massive growth in mutual funds in Nigeria. All the institutions in the country, there are zero tolerance to allow any infractions in the market from operators, just to ensure that your investment is safe. Let's go to the next slide, please. And just to also mention that we in United Capital PLC, what we do is that we give opportunities for you to also do remote trading and ensure that you have control over your investment. Let's go to the next slide, please. This is a private, by colleague, we speak a little bit better on this. We are not saying that investment does not have risks, but if you read what we have here, we have identified adequate risks, factors, and the mitigating factors that you can use to manage those risks. Let's go to the next slide, please. So the next few slides, as you can go on, we just talk to you about the macroeconomic environment, the GDP growth, which is improving. Next to the next slide, please. But I also want to also mention the next slide, please. Also mention the stability in our currencies, which is on account of the trade that we have, favorable trade, and even the capital inflow into the Nigeria. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now look at the capital that is flowing to Nigeria. And that's one of the reasons why we don't want you Nigerians over there, because international investors, they are looking at what is going on here. They are bringing money into Nigeria to take advantage of the opportunities they have seen in the financial market in Nigeria. So the capital importation into the country, which is meant for investment, is the highest in the last 10 years, but because of space, we just use this few space here. And you cannot just be looking at opportunities here and leaving money on the table. So there are things that are going on. International investors are looking at it, and they are coming to Nigeria aggressively, despite all the challenges. The challenges that we have also provide a lot of investment opportunities for people to take advantage of. Let's go to the next slide, please. So the variables, inflation, coming down, national reserve going up. These are providing stability for our currency, and therefore the risk of devaluation is minimal. Let's go to the next slide, please. So we also have strategic partnerships with these people, with UBA, with Avon, with Afriland, and one of the reasons why, and health insurance, and red tech. One of the reasons why we are bringing this one here is that sometimes some of you are abroad, you have aged parents at home here that need health care. Through Avon HMO, you are well covered, and that reduces the issue of sending money and people taking your money. You have them covered. UBA also, it doesn't need any introduction. They provide a lot of support for you. We have property company we have partnership with property company that can help you to manage your investments, so that you don't have to give money to somebody who will just take the money away from you and then will not be able to deliver on time. Next slide, please. So these are just incentive. You are going to get the slide that Central Bank is targeting against, after the diasporas, Nigerians in diasporas, to ensure they bring money into Nigeria. Next slide, please. So I'm going to hand over now to Adetola, who is the MD of Wealth Management, to take you through the specific product that we have in United Capital PLC, with which we can serve you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Tolani and Hayodele, for launching us into investment opportunities in Nigeria, and by extension, United Capital. I'll be very mindful of time. I would start with investment banking, but before I go into investment banking, it is necessary to note that United Capital, at United Capital, we're a one-stop financial institution. We curate our products to extract value across different asset classes. Specifically for investment banking, our investment banking business, essentially, they provide advisory and capital raise solutions. From a technical standpoint, they are referred to as the sell side. The buy side are the people that have the money, for example, asset managers for investment purposes. The sell side are the people that prepare you to be able to access capital from the market. They are advisors, and at the same time, they refer to them as arrangers. Every business requires a growth plan. The role of investment banking is to advise or support the strategic growth initiatives of a business. Perhaps you are considering expanding the scope of your business through some form of capital raise. Our investment banking team are poised to handhold you to actualize your dreams. At the short end of the market, if you're looking at raising funds, they can assist you with the capital raise through a commercial paper program. For the longer end, they can also help to raise capital by way of debt or equities, which are more permanent capital. Furthermore, They also facilitate project and structured trade finance initiatives. In addition, they manage an infrastructure fund which focuses on financing infrastructure projects. Next, please. I will quickly take us through asset management. For our next slide, our asset management business is one of the leading fund managers in Nigeria, with funds under management of just only the mutual funds over 400 billion naira. In all, they have a total of 10 mutual funds in issue, and they are still counting. Apart from mutual funds, they also manage gratuity fund management scheme, and they provide portfolio management services. Beyond all these services, they provide liquidity management. Many investors believe they can invest themselves by reviewing the market. For you to ensure your investment is optimal and efficient, you need to work with professionals. The truth is that you are going to be discounting the value of your investment if you do it all on your own. Our asset management team have created an array of products, from equity fund to fixed income fund, money market fund, and much more to tap into available opportunities in the market. This makes them more efficient and more optimal for investors when it comes to return on investment. With mutual funds, you have no reason to leave funds idle in your account, as you can access the fund anytime you need it. Next slide, please. I will quickly take us through securities. For the Nigerian stock market was very vibrant for those who have been following the market in the first quarter of the year, and it still holds a lot of value for investors that have a long-term perspective in view. A lot of government reforms, I think Ayodele actually alluded to that, have boosted performance. You cannot afford to leave any money idle at this point. Our security business ensures that you are building wealth from the capital market and you are equally extracting value. Our job as professionals is to guide you on the right stock to invest in. And this is not based on sentiment, but strictly based on fundamentals. Our securities business is equally involved in all forms of securities dealing, ranging from ETFs to both listed and unlisted equities and fixed income securities. Their operations extend also to trading across key markets in Africa. They also act as market maker to improve liquidity for selected stocks, and also act as receiving agent to new issues that are listed in the market. Next slide, please. For our consumer finance business, it's more like you're using one stone to kill two birds. Imagine if you are invested in different instruments. Take, for instance, you've invested in treasury bills, you've invested in mutual funds or direct equities, and there's an urgent need for liquidity. Perhaps these instruments that I mentioned, they have GC upside potential. Instead of selling these instruments, what our consumer finance team will simply do is to give you a loan on the back of your assets at competitive rates and terms. The major role of our consumer finance business is to provide asset-backed financing. Every form of liquid investment you have, it can be traded for an opportunity in capital. What do I mean by this? What do you have in your hand that you can use as collateral to access funding? The consumer finance team can be a point of contact that you need for such capital. You do not need to trade off your assets if you believe that it has upside potential that you can latch onto. On the back of your assets, you can access loans. Next, please. The next is the trust business. For our trust business, the hallmark of our trust business is confidentiality. When you're dealing with them, you can as well go to sleep. With the trust business, they work in the best interest of their clients. They provide private trust, public trust, and corporate trust. When you partner with our trust business, you are not just protecting your assets while you are alive, but but also decide what happens after you pass on. Our private trust encompasses private investment trust, education trust, heritage trust, estate planning, a blind trust for those probably who are politically exposed. So you may decide to sign on to a blind trust, and also dollar-denominated trust. Next, please. The last is that I will be taking us is on wealth management, which I manage. At United Capital Wealth Management, we recognize that investing beyond borders is essential in today's dynamic world. When it comes to offshore assets and investing, we help our clients to gain access to multi-assets across various global financial markets. This is actually done with quantitative and qualitative research in partnership with our global partners. We work with high net worth individuals. We work with first generation founders, next generation heirs, Africans in the diaspora, and anyone who sees wealth as both a privilege and responsibility. Our approach blends global best practices with deep local insight. Our services include the purchase and custody of global securities, ranging from equities, mutual funds, ETFs, commodities. I'm sure most of you who are very conversant with the market, you must have heard about Dell. Last week, the president of the United States invested in Dell, and all of a sudden we saw that the price surged by over 250%. So we have a platform that enables our clients to have access to these various securities. I've mentioned equities, mutual funds, ETFs, commodities, treasuries, and other globally traded instruments. We ensure smooth settlement and reporting as well, and offer custody services that provide safekeeping for international assets. This global reach allows our clients to diversify effectively across various geographies, various industries, and also various currencies. It will interest you to note that if you have dollars, you can invest with us. We're not restricted to only dollars, even pounds, Canadian dollars, euros. If you don't want to be exposed to foreign exchange risk, we can invest in this various globally traded currencies. And you'll be able to benefit from currency hedging, growth markets, and also asset protection structures. We provide our clients with access to leading international fund managers such as BlackRock, Vanguard, and Fidelity. Our team brings together people who understand African family structures, the cultural context, and what it really takes to build legacies that last. On a final note, because I'm mindful of time, let me use this opportunity to introduce you to our newly issued dollar-denominated investment note, which takes off tomorrow. Investable period is for 1 year and with a fixed return of 7.5% per annum for $1 million and above. If you want to invest between 500,000 to 99,999,000, the interest rate attributed to that is 7.25%. We also have non-discretionary investments that offers as high as double digits. Yes, double digits. Terms and conditions apply. On that note, let's create a future that reflects the life that you've worked so hard to build. We're just a stone throw away from you with a phone call or email. Congratulations in advance to the Canadian football team. Thank you very much. I would hand over to Emmanuel.
Okay. Hello everyone, and thank you, Aditola, for the beautiful presentation. I believe the conversation has been very educative for us all. So I'll be taking the next few minutes to guide us on how. Next slide, please. The slide speak here. Yeah, yes, thank you. So I'll be taking the next few minutes just to guide us on how to immediately begin to benefit from the enormous opportunities that both Adetola and Ayo has alluded to. So by virtue of attending this session, it is safe to say that you now understand the basics, or more or less the critical aspects of investing. So the next action for you would be to begin your investment journey, and to begin your investment journey with United Capital. So at United Capital, we have a customer-led platform we call the Invest Now. It's available on the web, it's available on the mobile app stores, and it's also available on USSD. We have a USSD code called *7. We have a USSD code *7277 hash, but it's only exclusive to people in Nigeria. But because we are speaking to the diaspora community, so you can just proceed to scan the code that you can see currently on your screen, and it will take you to the Invest Now on your on your device app store. You can proceed to register, and then complete your registration process. It would take less than 3 minutes to complete your registration process. And then when you're done, you can start investing immediately. I should also mention that you can actually invest in more than one product on the platform. It's also depending on your financial goals, your risk appetite, and also your financial capacity. For example, just like both Aditola and Ayo had also mentioned, there are opportunities everywhere. So we also have what we call the money market funds, which is a short and medium-term investment. So it's an investment that can actually pay you returns on a daily basis. So it would mean that by the next day you log into the platform, you see your interest compound on a daily basis, right? And you can start with as little as 10,000 naira. For those who have a higher financial capacity, you can do 100, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, depending on what your financial capacity is. And also entry and exit is seamless, and you can take your money anytime. You can also top up anytime you wish to. So far, it's returning within the range of 15 to 17% per annum. We also have the equity funds on the platform. Equity funds so far in the year has returned over a 40% year-to-date return. So it would mean that if, say, you have a 10 million naira in that portfolio, you would have made an extra 4 million between the beginning of the year up until now. So we have different opportunities for you, and I think just like Ayo had mentioned earlier as well, we have a trading platform where you can also trade on your own, and we also have that available. But to start your journey, you need to first register, which is why we have this the QR code displaying on the screen now. So you just go on the QR code, you just scan the QR code, proceed with your registration, and then you complete it in less than 3 minutes. So it's said that the best time to start investing is 20 years ago, but the next best time is today. So we don't lose out on that opportunity. So it's important that you start immediately to start investing. So I would let Onyinye now conclude the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us. But do we have any questions, Tolani? Are we picking questions from the chat box?
Not yet. I think you can go through your own summary, and then we'll go to the Q&A right after that. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you all as we've come close to the end of today's webinar. Thank you so much for spending time with us. It has been our pleasure connecting with you all. And I believe that your participation, the fact that you have joined this webinar all the way from Canada, truly demonstrate that indeed home is where the heart is. My colleagues Ayodele, Aditola, Emmanuel have shared deep and meaningful insights and investment solutions. So if today's discussion has inspired you to take the next step to invest, we encourage you to please reach out to our moderator, Tolani. Tolani Fetepiki is our dedicated partner for our diaspora community in Canada. And for those that missed her powerful introduction at the start of this webinar, Tolani is a FCCA and CPA qualified Treasury and capital markets specialist. She has over 20 years experience in the financial markets. So she will be delighted to work with you and guide you through the process of onboarding with United Capital. So whatever your financial goals are, whether home or abroad, trust that we at United Capital are paying attention, and we are committed to being your trusted financial partner every step of the way. So we anticipate questions, interactions. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll hand over back to Tolani.
Thanks, Oyinye, and thank you to the great panelists that we have. I believe that the conversations that we've had and the presentation has been insightful. And now we move to the most interesting part of the session, which is the question and answers question. I feel that there were some questions that we already had that would kind of attend to first. And I just wanted to mention that, this is an avenue for everybody to learn. I understand that there are different levels of investment expertise. There are people who are just starting, and there are people who are experts in this area as well. But I want everybody to feel confident enough to post whatever questions that they have. There's no such thing as a stupid question. You'll be surprised what kind of questions that a learner or somebody who's just starting their investment journey would have. And with that, I'll start with the first question we have. I don't know if you take that. So the first question is, can you walk us through the most critical CBN FX policy changes since 2023 and what they specifically designed to achieve for diasporan investors? I think why this question is critical is because there's a lot of concern with, obviously, the devaluation of the Naira that we've seen in the past. Yes, we know the Naira has been recovering, but I think as diasporans, that's one of the biggest challenges that people have. So we would like to know what this FX policy is really about and what impact it would have on a diasporan. I don't know if Ayo, would you take that question?
Thank you very much, Tolani, and I'm very brief about the response because of other questions and because of the fact we are constrained with time. Yeah, when the current central bank governor came and his team, they came up with a transparent way or manner in which the market, everybody will be able to have access to the market. Of course, with our devaluation, currency was artificially managed, the exchange rates, and therefore it was not inspiring. It didn't inspire foreign investors to bring in their money to Nigeria. We also have the economic side of it that things were not done properly. And when this administration also came in, they moved away from the way things were not done properly. Now, specifically, that led to a devaluation of the currency that you saw from about 400, 500 to about 1,605 at a point, but it's beginning to recover now at the moment. So, and because of those things, and today, the central bank will tell investors, both retail investors who are abroad like you, the Nigerian in diaspora, and then the institutional investors who bring in several billions of dollars to Nigeria to invest, like I showed in the chart earlier, that the market is transparent enough for you to bring in your money and to take out the money when you require to do that. So if you invest in Naira, if you invest in the equities market in Nigeria, then at a point you pay dividend, you earn the dividend, and you want to take it back, you can buy FX easily. the market is liquid because of those policies. They also give some incentives for Nigerian in diaspora to ensure that when you bring in your funds through the official market in Nigeria, then you are able to repatriate it through the same official market. So you are not going to be exposed to purchasing that dollar or converting to dollar on the from the parallel market rate, which is usually a bit higher than the official market rate. So, but the major thing that the current administration brought in is transparency. The fact that you don't have to know anybody to repatriate your funds. And a whole lot of organizations, the JP Morgan of this world, the large fund management of this world, the firm of this world have texted it. Sometimes when they are fund, I'm talking about several billions of dollars, they will want to say, we want to repatriate it. They will buy FX and they send the bill. And then the fact that they were able to do it seamlessly, most times they bought the FX, when they get to their country, they bring the money back. And over time, they are now rolling it over in Nigeria here. So they test the waters. This is transparency. There is action to the word that federal government is saying and the things. And that's one of the reasons why I said the chart I showed earlier that we are the highest, capital important to Nigeria this year. So for you abroad, be rest assured that once you bring in your money through the official channel, there are incentives for you through your banks, and you can speak to UBA, like I mentioned earlier, and they will show you all of those things, how you can bring it in, and then the documentations, and then to buy at official rates, and then when you need to repatriate the fund back to Canada or to the US, usually to USD, US dollars, and you can then convert to the third level currency exchange from that later, but you can get it more transparently. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ayo. I think that's comforting for a lot of us. I think transparency rather is extremely key. So I have a question. First, I wanted to mention that everyone, please feel free to post your questions on the chat. We won't be taking the questions directly. It's just easier to manage the questions via the chat. So I have a question here from someone who says it's really more about unclaimed dividends. And they said their stock was transferred to United Capital Securities before they left the country. Now they're still not able to get their dividends automatically in their account. Obviously, that process is frustrating. They just want a bit of guidance because this for them is what is stopping them from investing extensively in Nigeria. I don't know if anyone can speak to that. How do you address unclaimed dividends in the market right now?
Aditola.
Right, okay, thank you very much. I read that particular question. For the participants, I don't know what happened, but I can assure you that that problem will be resolved unfailingly this week. We have a dedicated desk that manages and attends to unclaimed dividends. So I can assure you, I don't need to speak too much. That problem will be resolved this week. Just take it because, like I said, we have a dedicated desk, well-staffed, and they are always in touch with the various registers from time to time. So that will be resolved this week. Please, Tolani, help us to
Yes, I would.
details
So if
of the participants.
if that person can reach out to me, then we can take your name. I mean, obviously that's the reason why we're here, and the fact that United Capital is here as well. It's something that we can resolve quickly. So please just reach out to me. I have another question here. Someone who wants a basic knowledge of the difference between mutual funds, treasury bills, and money market funds. If you can just maybe in 1 minute highlight what the differences are and the nuances for each one of those types of investments.
All right, can you take that again? You said mutual funds.
Yes, difference between mutual funds, treasury bills, and money market.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, okay. For treasury bills are short-term instrument issued by central bank. So, and they call them discount instrument because you can earn your interest upfront. So it's short-term in the sense that the maximum tenure of investment is 1 year. You can decide to opt for 90 days or 180 days or 1 year. However, for mutual funds involves aggregating funds from different investors, and these funds would be managed by a fund manager. In the case of United Capital, our asset management business actually are responsible for managing such funds. On the back of the funds that are mobilized, aggregated together, the underlying investment could be in different asset classes. It could be strictly equity-based funds. In that case, that means that the funds that are pulled together, they also call them collective investment funds. The funds pulled together in that instance would be invested strictly in equities. There's a trust deed that actually guides or governs the administration of such funds. If it's a money market fund, that means that investment will strictly be in money market instruments. Money market instruments include things like treasury bills, fixed deposits, commercial papers. So that's the difference. For all mutual funds, there are funds that are pulled together from different investors, and the funds are being managed by a licensed fund manager. In our own case, that is United Capital Asset Management. Whereas treasury bills are instruments issued by the government to manage supply of money in the economy. Thank you.
Thank you. That was insightful. Thanks, Aditola, for that. Okay, we have another question here. Someone is asking how they can open a diaspora account, and also the ease of moving that money back when they want it. I think I already addressed the ease of moving money back, but if someone can just maybe expatiate a little on how they can open a diaspora account from here.
I think Aditola can still go to that question.
Okay, to open a diaspora account, it actually depends on the product or service that the participant is interested in. If it's a wealth management account, we would provide the account details. Our accounts are domiciled, our foreign currency account, they are domiciled with United Bank of Africa PLC. So once you move in the funds and then you invest the funds at the point of maturity, anywhere you want the funds to be moved to, all you need to do is you would have provided us with those details at the point of onboarding. The only thing you need to be mindful of is the fact that we wouldn't want to transfer to a third party. Anywhere your account is domiciled, anywhere in the world, we would transfer such funds, the matured funds into that account. So essentially, it depends on the product or the service that you want to key into. So the associated account details will be provided at the point of onboarding. Thank you.
Thank you. And the person who sent that question, you can definitely reach out to me, and we can walk through that process together. Okay. There's another question that I have here. And I think this is one of the questions that a lot of people are kind of keen about is, as a Nigerian in the diaspora, will I be able to participate in the Dangote refinery IPO? And what is the step-by-step process for investing from Canada?
Thank you very much. I will take that question. I mean, we've been hearing on newspaper, some TV interviews, the founder of the Alhaji Aliko Dangote himself has said they are coming to the market. The offer is not open yet, and so there is limited information that we can share. However, just to let you know that they just concluded banking revitalization, provided opportunities for international investors and Nigerian in diaspora to invest money there. I think the Central Bank came up to say that I think about 20, I can't remember now, I think 27 or 37% of the total fund that came in through international investors. So when Dangote IPO, if Dangote Refinery IPO is opened, we will also inform all our clients when it opens and then for them to participate in it. There are a lot of, like we said, that's one of the reasons why we are here to say there are a lot of opportunities in Nigerian market. in all segments of the market, both at the primary segment, that new issuance, like what you talked about, and then the secondary market for 16 issuance. So all of those opportunities, when they become available, we are going to notify our clients around the world, and they will be able to participate. And taking, like I mentioned, taking cue from what has happened in banking recapitalization when they went to raise additional funds, give them a lot of opportunities for Nigerian in diaspora to participate in that banking recapitalization. And people have made a lot of money. Imagine a lot of companies that are raised at lower, discounted rates, the prices, and then the rates, the share price have moved up ever since, and they've made a lot of money on it, and dividend, and all of those things. So we'll intimate, we'll send notice to you when the offer opens, and then we'll let you know the best way to go about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ayo. And I know that United Capital is also able to provide some form of leverage based on the assets or that clients have with you. Maybe if you can just maybe spend 30 seconds to just highlight that as well. I think that would be good information for people to have as well.
Thank you very much. So say, for instance, you have a fixed income market. That the essence of that product is that we help you to amplify or multiply your return. So if you are working with, say, 100 million or 50 million, we will look at your portfolio you have with us, and then once it falls within the eligible securities that we can say, so if it is 500, if it's 100 million, for instance, or 50 million, for instance, then we will give you another, say, 50 million, depending on the type of investment that you have with us. We can give you additional, this 100% of it with us. If you have money market instrument that whose value increase every day, then we give you that money and then you will buy. So imagine that you have 100 million in a portfolio, an equities portfolio, that will give you 30%. Now, if our interest rate, say, is 20%, for instance, and then it means that you now have 200 million to work with. At 200 million, you make 30%. If it is within 6 months, that means the interest you will pay is 10%. It means that on the 100 million you take from us, you make additional 10% return after you have paid the interest. So we help you to take higher position in the market to amplify your profit, your return. And then the terms of payment and the time of the interest rate, depending on the market situation, when you come, when you apply, our team will be glad to give it to you. And the loan processing is within a short period of time. You can be rest assured of speed, efficiency, and transparent transactions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayo. Okay, I have another question here. There are lots of questions. I'm like that. So we want to encourage everyone to keep the questions coming. Someone is asking for the going rates on other currencies outside the Nigerian Naira and the USD. I'm not sure I really have full context on this question, but I'm thinking maybe they're asking what would be the return on non-Naira investments. Adetola, would you be able to speak to this? First, if they can invest in other currencies apart from Naira and the USD, and typically maybe over a range of time, what would be the returns on those kind of investments?
All right, thank you very much. I actually did mention that during the course of my presentation. The beauty of our offering in wealth management is the fact that investors can actually invest across various geographies and across various currencies. In terms of return, it depends on the product. If you want fixed, more like a fixed deposit investment, for instance, it varies. It depends on the volume of investment. It also depends on the size of investment and the tenor as well. If you want more complex structures, like structured products, for instance, that means you are willing to be exposed to the downside risk associated with such structures. But I did mention that for some structured products or non-discretionary products, return on investment can be as high as double digits. We can actually discuss this outside this session,
yes,
and take you through what it entails, the various benefits, the associated risk, and how you can actually mitigate this risk as well. But as an investor, you can invest across major currencies that are traded globally. Thank you.
Okay, so someone else is asking, what's the minimum amount to start equity investments with? And they're asking if the return of 40% is guaranteed and if there's a minimum duration for this type of investment. I think I can just start by saying, like for equities markets, the returns are not guaranteed, right? But I'll let someone from the panel add more context there.
All right, just like Tolani said, return on equities market is not guaranteed. It's not even professional to be talking about guaranteed return. Return is actually most often based on best effort basis and based on the performance of the underlying instrument that we invest in. The 40% that Emmanuel mentioned is year-to-date return. And like they always say, previous performance does not guarantee what will happen in future. However, when you are investing in equities, you should have a long-term perspective in view. If you believe in the company, if you believe in the prospect of the company you are investing in, you have done your research, the management, you are comfortable with the management, and you look at their track record, historical record over time, and the outlook for such companies, then you can invest. You can invest, and in the first quarter of this year, the Nigerian equity market has actually done very well, and we're still very much hopeful that that trend will continue towards the end of the year.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think with the upward review of the country rating as well, based on Aya's presentation, there's expectation there'll be more foreign inflow in the market, and that would only go to boost the equities market even more. Okay, so I have another question here that's pretty short, and I think maybe Emmanuel can take this one. Please, can one fund their account now and can one fund the account and withdraw from the Invest Now app?
Yes, very, very possible. Yes, so you can fund on the Invest Now app and also make a withdrawal from the Invest Now app. And just like Adestola had mentioned, at the point of onboarding, it would mean that you would have provided a destination account for where your withdrawals will go into. So for every time you'd want to withdraw, would then mean that withdrawals would go into the account you had provided at the point of onboarding. So yes, you can fund and then withdraw from the Invest Now app.
Thank you. We'll move quickly to another question, which is more around tax. So this question says, what tax applies to Nigerian living in Canada? Do I have to pay withholding tax in Nigeria? Do I report my gains in Nigeria or in Canada? I don't know if anyone is able to provide some context as to how that would work.
Go ahead, Chidima.
Okay, so I'll just quickly mention, that Chidima is like a tax expert that works with United Capital as well. So obviously, this is someone who's speaking from a place of authority when she's answering that question. Go ahead, Chidima, and thanks for joining.
All right, thank you. Okay, with respect to our diaspora clients, so when you invest, so whatever gain you are going to have, at the point of the way it works is you are actually supposed to file your returns and declare your global income. So over there in Canada, you are actually supposed to declare whatever income you have gained globally, whether in Canada or in Nigeria. So the Canadian tax law is actually going to apply if you declare that particular income in Canada when you are filing your returns.
Okay. Thank you, Chidima, for that explanation. Okay. So I just want to mention, I think maybe some people are posting questions within the chat. I think there's a designated Q&A chat. So if you could maybe post your questions on there so that we'll be able to pick it up. Okay. I have a question here from someone who says they live in Canada and are looking at investing in Nigeria over the next 5 years. If United Capital is advising someone in my position, what kind of portfolio would you recommend? Also, how do you help clients manage risk and rebalance their portfolios over time as market conditions change? I think that's a really good question.
Can I go ahead?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
usually, when advising clients, we don't start by introducing products and services. We go through a discovery process. We administer, in some cases, a questionnaire to actually confirm your goals and objectives. What are your goals? Why are you investing? And within what time frame do you want to actualize your objective? So once we're able to establish that, we would also try to establish your risk appetite. The fact that you are investing, you might be risk averse. Another person might be willing to take some risk, and your age, for instance, might be a major factor in determining the kind of risk that you should be exposed to. So once we're able to establish all these details, we would then advise you based on the information that we've gathered. And then from time to time, we would continue to review your portfolio in line with developments in the market. If there is need for you to rejig your portfolio to probably, depending on macroeconomic developments within the markets, if there's need to reallocate, your portfolio from one asset class to another, we would not hesitate to advise you in that regard. So for us, we handhold our clients and ensure that your desired objectives are met. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Adetola. Okay. I have a question here, and I'm going to kind of merge two questions together. I think people are looking to find out what United Capital will typically charge in terms of fees, but obviously I know that would be dependent on the type of products that you're looking to invest in. But again, Adetola, are you able to maybe provide a broad answer?
All right, yeah.
Yes.
There are two types of investment taken into consideration. We have discretionary investments and we have non-discretionary investments. For non-discretionary investment, it simply means that the investor is willing to take the investment decisions on his own. All what we need to do is to execute on the client's behalf. For discretionary portfolio, that means that we would take the investment decisions based on our discovery that I mentioned earlier on. And on the back of that, we would charge management fees. Management fees is it's negotiable. It depends on the size of the investment portfolio, and it usually ranges between 1% to 2%. So thank you.
Thanks. I hope that provides some clarity. Again, for more detailed information, and sometimes this questions, or the answers rather, need to be specific to whoever the investor is and the kind of products and all that. You can definitely reach out to me, and we can have further conversations regarding this. There's another question that I have here that I would like to ask. So the question is, what do the panelists see in terms of the Naira stabilizing to a point where the diaspora investors can plan with more currency certainty over like a 3 to 5 year time frame? I think for a lot of diasporans, this is like a huge concern in terms of the stability of the Naira, and just wanted to get your thoughts on where you think that would be, or what it's looking at. Obviously, I know that no one has a crystal ball, but sometimes, we're able to kind of project based on where, current market indices, the macroeconomics, and all those kind of things. Yeah. I think this is a question for Ayo.
Thank you very much, Talani. I was already trying to nail it. Yeah, so you are right. We don't have a crystal ball, but there are indicators that we will look at and to enable us show the direction where the exchange rate is going to. In a small open economy like Nigeria, and I will give you about 3 of such indicators. Number 1 is the political stability. We're going to have an election next year, January. We believe we've been in democracy from 1999 and uninterrupted up to now. Another election will come in. Whoever emerges as the president, we have our 3 leading candidates at the moment, but whoever emerges will build on the foundation that this current administration has laid. So in terms of the political risks, we think it is low. Now, historically, it is during primaries that currency depreciate because people say, oh, perhaps they use dollar for election purposes. I will leave that to now economic factors, macro factors, number 1. Now, or before I leave that, confidence on the managers of the economy. So if you look at what I've just said, or I said earlier during my presentation about transparency, the central bank has brought into the management of the country's exchange rates, foreign exchange markets. It has inspired confidence in the people, in foreign investors. Now, if large institutional investors who are managing several billions of dollars globally, not even dollars, trillions of dollars globally, you know how much JP Morgan manages worldwide. You know how much BlackRock, Blackstone, Vanguard, all of those big organizations manage globally. If they are saying IMF that doesn't have that expresses independent views of anything, if they are saying we are going in the right direction, we need to listen to them. World Bank say, like I mentioned earlier, they are saying Nigerians' currency is undervalued, meaning that there is room for appreciation. So that confidence is high. Foreign investors are bringing in their dollars into Nigeria. In fact, to let you know, we've got a lot of people, a lot of clients who used to do dollar investment with us. And lately, they are beginning to say, let's convert those investment from dollar to Naira because of the rates that we have shown to you earlier, the return, and then the perceived stability in the currency in the next few years. Number 3 is the fact that we have seen both the capital that are flowing into Nigeria and then the trade, because the 2 charts I showed earlier, they are positive. And year after year, we are seeing appreciable increase in them. And if you look at Dangote refinery that started operation just recently, and the fact that it has helped Nigeria to reduce the pressure on demand for petroleum products, which before now was accounted for about 25 to 30% of the foreign exchange import bill into Nigeria, meaning that has reduced significantly, almost going to zero, because the refinery is able to produce much more than the local requirements. And of course, you would have read in the newspaper that he's also exporting to Europe, now saving, the aviation industry in Europe, exporting fertilizers to Southern America, and even petroleum product to North America and United States. So that has reduced the demand pressure for foreign exchange and increasing exchange rate generation through the sale of those finished products. And I mentioned earlier, value addition to the raw materials that we have in Nigeria. So those are factors that determine, and of course, inflation rates. Those are factors that determine where the direction of exchange rates will go to in a small open economy like Nigeria. And those factors are positive. So forget about the day-to-day volatility, which happens anywhere. But the overall direction, the trend is that if we look at the determinants of the exchange rates and we say, how are they moving? Where would they go to? It's showing that it's either to remain stable or to appreciate. That is what we are beginning to see in the market. So we can be safe to say that Naira will remain stable in the short to medium term, because all the major factors that determine the exchange rates are positive for Nigeria at the moment. We do not see any person that will assume, even if the current president wins the election next year, whoever will come in after him will not change what has been laid. If another government another person wins in 2027 from the other leading candidates, none of them, because they're beginning to see the improvements, the benefits of the reform. They can't change tax. They can't change the foreign exchange policy. They can't change the deregulation of the oil and gas industry. The drive for solid mineral development, they can't change it because it is positive for Nigerian economy. The value addition, they can't change it. So it can only get better. And that's why we are here to say things are happening in Nigeria. Chinese are coming in. Other parts of the institutions are coming in to take advantage of it. We don't want to have you left out. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sayo. Okay. I have another question. I think this is from the person who had initially asked about the Dangote refinery IPO. So sequel to my earlier question, how does the Dangote refinery IPO compare to other investment opportunities on the NGX in terms of risk, liquidity, and long-term return potential?
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, we are a bit constrained to give detailed information here, which we do not have. But the way to look at any investment is to think about what products does the company produce? Is it a necessity? Is it something that will be there for the next 10, 20, 50 years? We believe that projects will be there in the next 10, 20, 50 years, as long as Nigeria lives. They are expanding capacity. They want to move double capacity, actually. They are selling aviation fuel to US. They are selling so in terms of business, it's a strong and very good business. So what we can say is that, yes, indeed, it is a company that will continue to move forward. It is a company that is strategic to the survival, to the energy security of the country. When the offer comes to the public, we will advise our customer on it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ayodele. Okay, I have another question here. Someone wants you to talk more about the Eurobond market yield and how much the minimum is to invest in the Eurobond market.
Aditola.
Okay. Yes, for the Eurobond, you can either decide to invest directly, that is, acquire the Eurobond through the secondary market, or you invest in a fund. That's one of the advantages of investing in a mutual fund. We have a mutual fund that the underlining is actually the Eurobond. If you want to invest directly, you must have a minimum of $200,000 for you to be able to invest directly. However, if you want to invest through our mutual fund, with as little as $1,000, you can invest in the Eurobond fund managed by our asset management business. Talking about the yield is currently around 7, in some instances, depending on the tenor, let's say between 6 to 7% plus. And one thing you also need to bear in mind is that if you invest in the Eurobond fund, in the Eurobond directly, it will be subjected to management fees. That is, we're going to earn fees when you are buying and when you are also disposing. So that's the yield. The yield is currently, we have various tenors for the various issues, for the various Eurobond issues. So it depends on the tenor, and the yield is currently between 6 to 7% plus.
Thank you, Adetola, for that. Okay. There's another question here, which is interesting. It's about, the question is United Capital open to discussions with legitimate project owners in the Nigerian mining sector? I don't know. Both of you have your mics muted.
All right, let me take that. Okay, that is actually one of the strengths of our investment banking that we highlighted earlier on. Irrespective of the sector that you're looking at, they can actually work with you in terms of project finance. We've been around for quite a while. And if you look at the various mandates that we've actually taken on board, they are key strategic mandates. So we have, when it comes to competency in that regard, we have all it takes to be able to assist you to achieve your objective across various sectors within the Nigerian economy and even beyond Nigeria, as far as even Africa is concerned. Ayo, I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, I think, Adetola, you've answered the question very well. One of the things that we provide, just like Adetola said, is financial advisory. So you are going to any sector, we have industry expertise in any of the sectors, critical sectors in the Nigerian economy, that we can own you, and then to ensure that your money is safe, and then you do well in this sector. So please, those are the things that's one of the services that our investment banking team, highly experienced, dedicated people that provide for you. So please reach out to us. We will get details from you and advise you on the things that you need to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There's another question here. With the current rate of insecurity in the country, how will this affect investment/investing in Nigeria over time?
Okay, so maybe I should answer that question as part of the map that I discussed earlier. And of course, yes, is a concern not only for investment, for lives and properties. However, one thing that I need to stress here, which is, securities issues are not usually done on the pages of newspaper in a webinar like this. Government is partnering with credible organizations. This week, if you follow Nigerian news, you will see that they have approved state police structure. And that means that with the existing federal policing system that we are going to recruit more people who will be helping to resolve these insecurity issues that we have. US also is interested. In October 31st last year, Donald Trump tweeted something, but after that, they've now come in saying, how do we partner with this critical country? And then to help to resolve the challenges. Now, they are going after them. The federal government is going after them. The United States that has advanced technology is going after them. If we look at our budgets, year in, year out, the highest allocation on our budget, single head, is to security. So government is putting a whole lot of efforts in ensuring that they resolve that. Alongside, there is no economic factors that could justify all those heinous crimes. But again, the government is also trying to implement policies. Perhaps maybe people are hungry, that they go into crimes, to say, let's provide economic, structure the economy to ensure that people are gainfully employed. But we've seen non-Nigerians, foreigners who are coming into the country. They're also tightening border control. So a lot of things are going on, but they won't come on air to discuss a whole lot of them. That's not how security matters are addressed, because the enemies can get the strategies and then they go ahead to look for other ways to go against it. But you can say, even that Trump this week mentioned it, that they are partnering with the government to resolve the issue. At that time, Turkey is also interested, and the government itself is voting a lot of money into it. State police is coming on. Other local vigilantes are coming on, but it's not something that they can also give them direct access to say, oh, go and fight. No, but efforts are being taken to ensure that we resolve the matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ayodele. Okay. I know we're already at 1 hour 30 minutes so I will just be taking maybe 1 or 2 more questions. I'm mindful of time and I don't want to keep everyone here waiting for too long. But I think the last one of the questions that I had here that I just wanted to check is the CBN introduced the non-residential Nigerian ordinary account and investment account. How do these work? And why should every diasporan investor on this call be paying attention to them? So I just got a message. Sorry, Ayo. I just got a message that I think the chat was disabled. So I just want someone to please help check. We want to make sure that we're able to address as many questions as is coming along. Thank you. Ayo, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. One of the reasons why we are doing what we are doing tonight is to discuss the opportunities, the structural changes, the shift in the Nigerian economy and financial market to our brethren, if you call it that way, in Canada, to say the opportunities in Nigeria. It's also a strategic goal for the country to also tap into the rich resources abroad. Early this year, another capital discussed this. We have similar webinar to the Nigerian in US. We are going to go around where people are. A number of you are doing well over there. We want you to bring your money to Nigeria to contribute more to the developments that we see here. And as you are doing that, you are creating sustainable wealth for yourself that you can, when you retire, that you can take advantage of. Now, if you look at also Asia Tiger several years ago, they leverage on their citizens abroad to galvanize resources to develop their countries. So we want to develop the kind of infrastructure that you have in Canada, rail, road, in the US, in UK. We want to have it in Nigeria here. We are saying, bring your funds. We have structures that we are going to use to channel those funds into developing Nigeria. So government central bank is coming to say, we are incentivizing you. And that's the overall objective of this. So whatever it is that you want to have, these are channels, and the money will have to, so if it comes to, the former source through a bank, and like I mentioned earlier, we have a bank, we have a strategic partnership with UBA, with which those funds, you can make use of them and they come into Nigeria. So it was a way is to say, we want to incentivize, we want to tap into the Nigerians in diaspora to come here, invest your money at a higher return than you can get in the developed countries where you are. And number two, to be part of the development programs that we have at home. Somebody talked about Sukuk in the chat. Sukuk is ethical funding that government uses to raise funds to develop roads. So if you go to Victoria Island in Lagos, if you go to some roads from Lagos to Southwest, you will see this road is being financed by Sukuk. So that money, they take it, they channel it. Lagos to Ibadan now, you have rail that conveys you, very comfortable, that compares well with the types that we use in England when we travel, right? So those are, yes, some development partners coming to do that. If we have, constant electricity, I'm sure some of you will come to Nigeria, or even if you don't come now, you retire. We want you to bring your expertise, your technology that you have, transfer here to develop Nigeria. And so that's why they are providing those incentives to say, come in, bring your money, and to assure you that you can bring in here, and you can also, if you still want to repatriate it for whatever reason, you can bring in any superior return here, risk-adjusted return that is quality, and then still have a formal channel to repatriate the fund. So federal government is marketing it. Central bank, anytime they have actions all over the world, they go out to mention this, and that's what we are also preaching to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ayo. I think we should be looking to call it a day. It's been a very useful and insightful 1.5 hours of, trying to show the value that is in the Nigerian financial market, and then also providing strategies for people to take advantage of those opportunities there. So this is the beginning of the conversation. It's definitely shouldn't be the end. Like we had mentioned earlier, that I am partnering with United Capital, that is a credible institution in Nigeria with over 60 years experience in the market, to bring to Nigerians in the diaspora the opportunities that are, within the Nigerian market. I like the fact that today's session has been very interactive. Thank you to everyone for the questions that have been asked. And I just wanted to mention that there are some questions that would require like a one-on-one conversation. I think someone had asked what type of products that they will be recommended. Those are conversations that have to be had on, because there has to be a background of what exactly your goal is, and then based on that, the experts will be able to, provide options that you can adopt. So please, let's keep the conversations going. I'm going to share my email on the chat as well, and then we have details of the panelists on the flyer. Also wanted to mention that we'll be sharing these slides, the deck that has been presented today, with all the participants that have joined today, so that you can make reference. Also, the details concerning contacts will be there as well. And then just wanted to mention that I hope that everybody has been able to take one or two things away from this call, regardless of our level in the investment journey. And I'm really looking forward to more engagements from everyone, and obviously working alongside United Capital. So this is a big thank you to everyone who has taken time to join today, and most especially our panelists who have provided really sound information and food for thought. So I hope everyone has a good evening. I know it's about almost 9 o'clock in Nigeria, and then it's just in the afternoon for us in Canada. Thanks everyone for your time. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and look forward to hearing more from us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful
Thank you so much.
afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.